Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this regular board meeting on September 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. located in the Estill County Board of Education boardroom at 253 Main Street in Irving, Kentucky. At this time, I would like to call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone. We always start our meeting by standing and saying our pledge. Do I have any volunteers to help with the pledge? Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Thank you. You start us out when you're ready. Got it. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you turn around and tell everybody your name and where you go to school? Thank you very much. There's a sign-in sheet at the entrance to the boardroom. If anyone would like to sign in, we welcome you to do that. Mr. Brock, do we have any revisions to this agenda?
We do not.
Okay. First on our agenda is action items. Mr. Brock, would you like to discuss those?
Yes, the first one is consideration for approval for KED membership. We've been a member for KEDC for several years now. They offer us different sports, professional development, participation in cadres. It's my recommendation we approve.
Okay. I need a motion for approval of the KEDC membership. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do I have a second? Tammy Hardy makes a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of a MOA with Baptist Health for mental health services. Mr. Brock.
This is just another outside agency that will provide services for our students. I think they're actually mobile. They'll come set up at the school and provide some services for our students who need counseling. It's definitely a need for our students, and so it's my recommendation we approve.
Okay, I need a motion for approval of the memorandum of agreement with Baptist Health for mental health services. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 4-0 vote. Next on our agenda, we have consideration for approval of a shortened school day for a student.
Yes, and this is something that the board has to approve when it's determined at the school level by a committee that a student needs a shortened school day. It has to be approved by the board. It's always a situation where there's a special circumstance. I recommend that we approve the shortened school day.
I need a motion for approval of the shortened school day for a particular student as Mr. Brock discussed. All in favor?
Did you get a motion in a second?
I think I did, but maybe I did. Do we need a motion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sheila, and a second is Carrie. And all in favor?
There you go.
I abstained because I didn't hear the motion.
You're good.
So.
All right. So next, so it's been a long day, so y'all please look over me. Next, we have consideration for approval of the following out-of-state trip, and the first one is a senior trip to New York City, April 20th through the 24th of 2026.
Yeah, so this will be this year's senior field trip. It's out-of-state and an overnight trip, so the board has to approve it. The seniors have decided that they want to go to New York City this year. It's my recommendation we approve.
I need a motion for approval of a senior trip. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. And just the discussion with this, I think that we allow them to make their own choice. Is that right, Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
They voted on that? Because a lot of parents always ask, why are we not going to Washington, D.C.? So a lot of them get to go to Washington when they're in the 8th grade, right?
Yeah, they do, and they prefer to try to go somewhere else their senior year. Yep.
So,
Wayne's is here. I'm gonna go let him in.
all right, so I need We have a motion and a second. And I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed?
I do have a question. Do you all need chaperones since you're gonna go
Yes.
see Wicked on Broadway?
Do you want to wait for her?
It's up to you.
She has to step out.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got a quorum. We can.
Next on our agenda, we have consideration for approval of the FY '26 working budget. Mr. Brock?
So, as you all are aware, we look at this in the spring, we close out the year, we come back. Mr. Yost, I've asked him to actually do a short presentation for you all to kind of show. We've got some things in place this year for sure. Each department has a budget, and he can explain this in Munis and how requisitions work. Requisitions are now through Munis, and it helps us keep a closer eye on the budget. And I'll actually just let him do his presentation and kind of show you where we're at. But I'm finally glad to get some of those electronic things in place because it's sure hard to keep up with all that stuff on paper sometimes. So, Mr. Yost?
All right, thank you all for having me this evening. Wanted to talk to you all a little bit this evening just about the process of creating the budget this year and the process we've been going through with that. And Mr. Brock tasked me with a few things coming on board in July. And you've got the copy of the working budget in front of you. The first big thing was getting the electronic requisitions process underway. And
We had some things in place already, but
Yeah.
just getting it to the finish line.
getting it to the finish line and getting it underway so that we're using it across the board now. We've got principals, finance secretaries, department heads, they're trained. Mr. Reese is doing them for maintenance now, and Mr. Simpson for technology, and our bookkeepers at the school sending them in now, and it allows us to more efficiently track purchase orders and requisitions to track spending more effectively. So that's one of the big pieces is it's useless to have a budget if you can't actually monitor it and make sure that you're following that budget. We're having monthly meetings with all department directors as well as principals and bookkeepers to update them on where they're at in their spending on their budget and to answer any finance questions they may have. Because that's one of the things we can do to improve that entire process is by working together with our department directors as well as principals and bookkeepers to make sure that everybody is on the same page and everybody has already, is able to keep track of their spending and where it's all going. For us, one of the big things is we were able to meet with principals and bookkeepers early on, talk about not just their Section 6 budgets, but their ESS budgets, their Title I budgets, and really kind of explaining to principals where is that money going and where's it coming from. I've had many good meetings with Tony Garrett about preschool funding, and she's educated me a lot on that, and talking about the different pots of money that comes from and where we're having employees pulled from and different things. So those meetings have been really important for us to make sure we're all on the same page as we're in FY '26 now. Another big thing.
Excuse me for a second, Mr.
yeah.
Yost. Can Jeremy click on the budget up there?
So we
Can you
can see
click
it?
on that? Sorry about that.
You're good. So as we're going through it then, next week, all of our building level head principals will be going to finance training up at KEDC that Mr. Brock just mentioned. So we'll be going up to that, and they'll be doing some training about just the building level expenditures and things like that. The other big part of it is, and this is something Mr. Brock really wanted us to work on, was being able to use roll-up codes to monitor budgets and ensure that we're not going over in different budgets.
Yeah, and if you can scroll down, Jeremy, it'll like show those codes and what the budgets are.
You can, as you're going through it, if you go to like the end of each fund, you see like the end of Fund 1, you can see the total spending balance, that the budgets are balanced, because we're required to approve a balanced budget every year.
Yeah.
So you can see that. It's a total revenue from state sources, 18 million coming from them, that's SEEK. On behalf payments, you've got your local taxes that are up at the very top. So your first page is in each, or your first part in each of the different sections is just revenue. Fund 1 is our general fund, that's SEEK money and local taxes for the most part. Fund 2 is our grants, federal, state, and local. And then you get down to 310, 320, 360, that's your capital funds, construction funds, on down the line. 51's food service. So as we're going through each of those, we've got our budgets in for the year, and you can look at having that balanced budget. And that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the work that our department directors have done in setting fiscally responsible budgets this year, working with principals to make sure they know exactly what pots of money they can pull from and how to spend it. So
think you've scrolled through most
Yep.
of it.
Fund 1 and 2 are the big ones because the other ones basically are all just debt payments, bonding, those things as well, capital funds. Funds 1 and 2 are the big ones.
Yeah. Just keep scrolling.
Jeremy, once you get to the end of Fund 2, I think you're through the highlights.
But it takes that, it breaks it down into different codes and what we're going to spend. And I think the biggest part this year is the electronic requisitions and having people live within the budget that's set for them at the beginning of the year. So,
And being able to monitor that more effectively through electronic requisitions and those roll-up codes is a huge part of that process. So that will allow us to do that. Also, another thing this year is if we have to make any substantial changes to this budget at any point for any reason, so let's say right now we're pretty confident in our seat projection because we work with KDE on that. But let's say that KDE came back and said, you know what, you're going to get $80,000 more in SEEK. Then I would come to you all with a budget amendment and say, here's how we're going to spend it.
Yep.
And get your all's approval on that.
So with this electronic program then, the principals or whoever is submitting a ticket then can prior to submitting that ticket, can look at the budget and say, okay, this is going to be within my budget and it's not going to put me over for the quarter, or is this a running budget, or do they get like the whole total? Is it broken down in quarters or
Their budget is there for the year.
for the year?
And
Okay.
they actually submit the budget and have it divided by which code they want each amount to be in. So let's say a school had $50,000 in Section 6. They could tell us that $12,000 is for the copiers, $15,000 is general supplies, and on down the line. They can tell us how it is, and then we put that in Munis for them. And then as they're putting in their budgets, it will update them on whether or not they're going over budget or not.
So
And
this is
some-
new compared to what they did before? or-
well, Munis has always had this capability. We actually have it, everybody on board and it working this year. It's something I've been trying to get in place for a couple years now because it's really easier to keep a tight budget with it. And so it had the capability before, but we just didn't get there. Mr. Simpson's been using requisitions for a long time, but he's the only one in the district that's been using requisitions. And as Mr. Yost said, it's got their budget in there in Munis, and so if there's something they want to buy that says $5,000 and it wasn't in their budget, then they're going to have to figure out where else in their budget that
they
they're
can
going to move
money.
the money, yes.
But some money can only be moved into certain funds
Yeah.
Correct.
also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's correct.
you don't just have the money to
Right.
spend endlessly.
But within those funds, it's broken down by transportation maintenance schools, so it's already coded out to where it can be spent.
And I've worked with a similar program in my prior position, and it's wonderful. I mean, just so that as a director, as a principal, you know exactly when you go in there that what is in the budget and what you can spend and what
Yeah.
per line item.
And
So
bookkeepers
this is
know
great.
as well, so.
This is great.
Any other questions you all have?
And if anyone wants to view our budget, it's available here. We're transparent about all of that. But it is a working budget. So
Yeah.
as Mr. Brock shared with everyone, it may change as the school year progresses.
But if there's any amendments to be made, it will come back to the board.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yost. So with all of that being discussed, we need an approval of the FY '26 working budget. So I need a motion for approval. Sheila Samples makes a motion, Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any further discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of capital funds request for FY '25-26. Mr. Brock, would you like to discuss?
Yeah, sure. So we have the ability every year, this is a kind of a restricted pot of money, but we have the ability every year to recuperate some money that we have spent on building repairs or insurance, and there's a whole list of things where we can get money back from some of those capital funds. But we have to do a request, and the board has to request it. And it's something that I feel like to help us keep our budget where it needs to be that we need to do for this year. We probably will do it again next year. We're trying to get to a point where it's not something that we want to do on an annual basis because we want that to build up. But at the same time, we want to be good stewards with money. So it's my recommendation that we approve the requests.
So I need a motion for approval of the capital funds request for 25-26. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Do I have a second? Carrie Smallwood makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of the amendment to the interagency agreement. Mr. Brock.
This is our agreement with CAC. They sent us an amendment. I've looked over it, Ms. Hall's looked over it, and it's my recommendation we approve.
Can you tell us what CAC is?
It's where we partner with, we get funds from for our preschool. It's Community Action Council.
Okay. So, I need a motion for approval of the amendment to the interagency agreement with Community Action Council. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Do we have a second? Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion, any questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Next, we have consideration for approval of the local Head Start Memorandum of Agreement. It's similar.
It is, but they had put if you all remember last year, with the government had sent out like a DEI thing that we had to sign and say that we didn't, discriminate, and we had to adhere with this statement that we sent out. This piece has that statement in that CAC is added to it. It's no different than what we signed last year. It's my recommendation that we approve.
Okay, I need a motion for approval of the local Head Start Memorandum of Agreement. Sheila Samples makes a motion. Sharon Whitaker makes a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. It brings us down to our consent items. Mr. Brock, would you like to discuss any of these?
Yeah, I mean, and I sound like a record on repeat every month, but it is the same things. It's approval of the minutes from August 21st, the treasurer's report, and so that we can pay our bills and make sure we get that on time. Superintendent's travel, I did have some travel this month. I went to 2 co-op meetings, and I went to KASS. I'll include some of the conversations from that into my superintendent report. So it's my recommendation we approve the consent items.
I need a motion for approval of the consent action items as discussed with Mr. Brock. Tammy Hardy makes a motion. Sheila Samples makes a second. Do we have any discussion, any questions? If not, I'd like to call for a vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, that brings us down to our superintendent's report.
Okay, so I just mentioned KASS and co-ops. Ms. Mullins, our 2 elementary principals, went to CKEC also recently to a think tank, if you will, for Senate Bill 240, which has to do with reading plans for kids and retention of first graders if they don't meet certain benchmarks. The public's going to start hearing a lot about that. It leaves some autonomy to the district, but basically we have to come up with criteria on students that get a reading plan, and then if they don't meet a certain criteria by the end of the first grade, by law, we would have to retain them. We're working on what that is. I know Ms. Mullins had a working session with principals. We're going to meet back. As soon as we get what that criteria is, we will get that out to the public. It will also be sent home with every report card, and there'll be some opportunities for students to grow so that we do not get to that point at the end of the year. CKEC was really good in helping us with that. I also attended a meeting about that there. KASS was this week. I was up there Monday evening and Tuesday. Had the opportunity to talk about several things, including some asks from Kentucky Association of School Superintendents. That's what KASS is. They're asking for an increase of the seat base this year of $300 and an increase next year of $300 per student, which would actually renew us back to the buying power we had in 2008. They have increased it every year, and we are thankful for that. And they have spent a lot of money trying to make sure that KTRS stays in good shape. But the reality is, even though they have increased it, we still haven't kept up with inflation. This would actually put us where we kept up with inflation to where we would have the same buying power that we did in 2008. There was some senators and some representatives there. They talked about the budget and the upcoming budget cycle and some different things like that. Said they would do the best that they could. The governor was there and he spoke about his initiatives. One of them was fully funded pre-K, and that's a good goal, obviously. I mean, we're a district that lets all 4-year-olds come, and we've got some 3-year-olds. But he was talking about statewide. And then there was some other things that we talked about as far as like what superintendents across the state of Kentucky are going to ask from the legislature this year and what our priorities was. I don't want to get in the weeds and the details on that, but that was from that conference this week. Right now, currently, our attendance for the district is sitting at about 93%. We're about 2% below where we were at this time last year. However, we started later, and COVID and flu has hit, as everybody knows, and that's the reason we're down a little bit on our percentage. Our enrollment is up from the end of the year last year by 6 students. We ended the year last year with 2,051 kids. We're currently sitting at 2,057 kids. Continue to work on, and I used the KASS to put some plugs in with some of the legislators that was there, to continue to work on to get funding this year for the middle school and for that continued project. I've been working with Representative Wesley, and he's helped with getting in a budget request, and then I've also talked to Senator Smith this week, and he's working on helping us get that set up on the Senate side, and it's October the 15th, I think, is when my meeting is there. So that's also continues to be a work in progress, very hopeful. Everybody knows the need in this community, and everybody knows the need across the state. So I think that's about all I have.
Okay.
And I talk way more than I normally do.
And listed, we also have notification of personnel actions.
Yeah, we don't have, I'm trying to think. We have some that may be coming up next board meeting that we talked about today, but I don't think we have any. Personnel actions, I'm trying to think. We don't have any.
Okay, I didn't see any listed.
I didn't think so, but
I didn't see any.
you got my wheels turning, running
Yeah,
too, so.
I didn't see any. I was just making sure we didn't leave something out.
Yep.
Okay. So next, that brings us down to our principal's report. And,
Ms. Halcom, will you
do
start
you
us off?
have any extra ones for our guests that are here?
Absolutely.
If everyone has an extra one, that would be great for our guests. Thank you for that.
We've already got them. I don't know if I have Miss Mais's or not. Do I? Yeah.
We can share.
Yeah, I think we have that, but did you get Mr. Short one? Here.
Yeah.
Take it.
Sure, great.
I can share with Donna. Yeah, don't forget Mr. Short, he's a guest as well.
Okay, I'll go ahead and get us started. We've had lots of things going on at the middle school since we have started. As Mr. Frock has said, sickness really hit us hard, so we are still doing our iReady diagnostic testing along with science and social studies. I put those percentages there, but as you can see in math, we're still testing in 7th grade and 8th grade. We have finished our reading diagnostics. We have had some great coaching sessions this week. Ms. Beard has already been working on a plan with Ms. Ford, so we've had some great communication with central office on how we're gonna help bring our reading scores up this year. One thing I wanna do is I wanna thank Ms. Combs and I wanna thank Mr. Rogers for allowing our kids to come over from the middle school through the ATC to the high school. This has been something that's been really beneficial for our students. This year at the middle school, we are offering digital art, which they're taking at the high school. with Mr. Blevins. Our eighth graders actually can earn a high school credit in that class and start on that pathway. We also have JROTC that our eighth graders can earn a credit for in high school as well. And then our eighth graders can also earn a high school credit in Algebra 1. So we have lots of things happening at the middle school, so I want to thank you all for that partnership and collaborating with us on that. Some things that are going on tonight, we have eighth grade girls basketball tonight, and then football, their eighth grade night is tonight as well. So another thing that's coming up is the sixth grade's going to the Unite Rally at EKU. Mr. Flynn got that set up. They did not attend this last year, but they will attend this year, and then they'll come back to the middle school and provide us with information on how we could do a better job of supporting our students through that program. So I'm really looking forward to that with them. We've got a lot of things going on at the middle school. We have a lot of things planned for our coming year. We're getting ready to have our pep rally with the high school on Friday. We're going to have that in homecoming week. We're getting our kids excited to attend ball games. I'm trying to get Miss Miller to bring her daughter tonight. She's not willing to do that. But we're seeing an increase in our students coming to our sporting events, being more involved. So we're very happy about that. That's all that I have right now. We do
This
have
is
pictures.
our already diagnosed. This is not our in-house one we're doing this year, correct?
No, this is just,
So
yeah.
those numbers, when you look at them, they may look a little bit low. The reason they're a
I was
little.
gonna
I-
ask.
So the reason
Yeah.
they're a little bit low is because this very first of the year diagnostic tests them on where they should be at the end of this school year.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at those percentages, if it's a sixth grade, that when you see that 29% are where they should be at the end of the school year. So that's why they're a little bit low. It takes the whole year.
It takes the whole year.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're still testing in math and seventh grade and eighth grade. That really was our classes that got hit with that sickness the last couple of weeks, so we are still testing those students. We also found out in iReady, if you don't put it at a class that says math, if it says Algebra 1, it doesn't pick it up.
Yeah.
So our students in Algebra 1 are having to take that diagnostic because it didn't pick it up whenever it needed to. But we are really excited. Our eighth graders, we've already got 43% of our eighth graders on grade level for reading. So we're really excited about that. But like I said, Miss Beard has been working with Miss Ford on some programs that she's gonna offer and train our teachers on to increase our reading scores. So we have a really good plan. Miss Beard's been wonderful about working with central office and our teachers on getting that in place.
So are those numbers concerning?
So you don't need to think of it as the percent that's proficient and distinguished. You need to think of it as the percent that's already at the
At the
grade
grade
level that they're currently in.
Yep.
But aren't those numbers low?
No, because it's an end of the year test. So 29% are already testing where they should after they complete their sixth grade year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like in math, it's,
Now, the
So-
math in the seventh grade and eighth grade, they're not finished
okay.
at
But,
all.
but math is 19%, but what that means is 19% of the kids are already performing at an end of the year level.
Which is good.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I'm a little slow.
No.
You're, no,
No, it's
not at all.
confusing because, and it is confusing because the first, 2 years ago when I came in and we first took iReady, my phone was ringing off the hook. Principals were panicking and I'm like, it's not like fluid. It's saying if you're at 13%, you have 13% of your kids that are already where they should be at the end of the year. So we need to take that 13% and accelerate them and move on, and then it gives you data points on how to get everybody else there. So,
That was gonna be my question is, the 19% that is already there, how are you going to fast forward them to excel
Yeah.
and not sit in the classroom and be bored?
yeah, so it creates an accelerated path for them, and then I'm gonna guess probably most of those kids are in the
Honors
honors
classes.
classes,
Yeah.
which is also an accelerated standard in curriculum.
Yeah. We have honors classes for all of our grade levels in math and ELA. And then in science and social studies, we have those for seventh and eighth grade.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
could see the concerned faces, so I wanted to chime in there.
So next we have Miss Miller from West Irvin Elementary.
So it has been. It's been a fun few weeks at West. We've really been trying to get into the groove of things and learn our expectations. Our students have practiced all of their safety drills, and so they know what to do in case of an emergency. We have really been looking at our school expectations, which are to be respectful, responsible, and safe. So students have been working hard on that. We did host our second Grandparents' Day Parade this past week, which was another hit. Our kindergarten families had a quick breakfast while their students went up to their classrooms, and the first day was great. We had hardly any tears in kindergarten, more families than students, so that's always a bonus. We did Honor Patriots Day. We had some guest speakers. Ms. Beard came in. We did a lot of collaborative activities and learned about that. Students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade also have already participated in an anti-bullying assembly. With that, our guidance counselor has also worked with students in all grade levels to teach them about the Stop Tip Line, which is something that we teach every year to make sure students know how to report things and feel comfortable reporting things if they ever need to in school. So we've really been laying a lot of foundations for social emotional as well as behavioral. We've also taken our iReady assessments. They're not quite complete yet, and a lot of our yearly pre-assessments. So we've really been working on those. Over the last few days, we've started to see that instruction in the classroom now that we've gotten through those assessments and the pre-assessments, and it's been really fun just to watch and to be in those classrooms and see the learning that's starting to take place. We've built a lot of new friends in our classrooms, and last but certainly not least, we have smiled very big for Picture Day already, so it's been very fast couple weeks. Something that we are really excited about, our school received the Disney Stage Grant, so we will be putting on a spring musical this year, and it will be The Lion King. So we're really excited for that. We're already trying to make some preparations, and we're starting to talk about costumes and things of that nature. So we're just really excited about this opportunity in our school, and I know that our students are going to be excited as well. That's what we've got going on.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Next, we have Estill Springs Elementary. We have Ms. Mays.
Thank you all. Thank you all for inviting us to talk to you about Estill Springs tonight. Your handout has some highlights
Mr.
from.
Simpson, can you turn her up just a little bit? Okay, there we go.
Your handout has the highlights from the first month of school. It has been an exciting time at Estill Springs. I think after the long summer, everybody was eager to be back. Our back-to-school night, we had 79% of families represented. It was a very busy night. They were so excited to be back and meet their teachers and see their friends. Kindergarten camp, we hosted our We Love You More Than Milk and Cookies, a special night just for our kinders to come in and get to know the school, get to know the staff, take a bus ride. We had 68% of our kinders participate in that. The professional learning, we were very blessed with one of our professional learning days being leaders in our district, and our teachers were able to come back together on our teacher equivalency day and share what they had learned with the rest of the staff. And that's one of our teachers there talking about choice boards that Miss Carly Cornett led that session, and we have already seen choice boards used in our classrooms, and we're very thankful for that. We participated in the KSBA regional meeting. We had 2 student groups represented there, our Green Thumb Society led by Miss Rachel Newby, and our STLP. We had Mr. Matthew there as a representative, and our students that participate in robotics and have represented us in the state competition over the past couple years. Safe Schools Week there, we have some 5th grade leaders in our building that helped one of our custodians do some building checks, just making sure all of our doors were secure. But during Safe Schools Week, we focused on something different each day. We've practiced safety drills. We practiced being safe inside and outside of the building. And our 3rd through 5th also participated in an anti-bullying assembly. And Ms. Noland went ahead and talked about the See, Say, Do box and led that lesson so that our students know what to do if they need extra help at school. Our Grandparents Parade, our 3rd annual Grandparents Parade was amazing. I think we had 250 cars registered, and I think maybe double that showed up. If you were on Main Street last Friday, I'm sorry. They probably had to turn you around, but it was full of love and full of so many smiles that it didn't really matter that we shut it down for 3 hours. For High Attendance Day, our PTO purchased Kona Ice for every student in attendance, and we had 96% attendance that day. We were very proud, and we've also celebrated Patriot Day with our students and learned about what it means to be a patriot and how to be proud American citizens. We're also working on iReady. We're finishing that up, and we will hope to report back to those results to you all next month. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Mays. Next, we have Ms. Cassidy Moore from the Success Academy. Tell us something good, Cassidy.
I'll tell you something great. So the Success Academy has completely changed this year, and we are embracing that change as best we can to help our students to the best of our abilities. So our students this year are benefiting from the actual alternative school students that are in the room with Mr. Baber normally are now in the room with Mr. Baber and Miss Andrea Banks. Because we are able to have 2 teachers in there, we're able to do a lot more direct instruction with our students. And that's been amazing these first 2 weeks to see our students grow and see how much they're getting done on their work by just adding Miss Banks to that mix. It's really helped because none of us down there were great at math, and she's lovely at math, so she's been helping out in that area a lot. So our cap for Success Academy is generally 12 students, and we're already sitting at 11. So we have a high number of students at Success Academy right now. But a lot of our goal is focusing on social and emotional things for our students, looking at coping skills. We've already had our new counselor, Miss Brooke Abbott, down there working with my students. They've really enjoyed talking to her. We've had Miss Charlotte Sutter from the high school come out and meet with my kids and bring them different things that they've needed. So we've had a really good start to our year. Then at the bottom, we've also added Mr. Nobody tell him I put that. Mr. Ricky Joe
It's not
Benton.
like it's online.
I know. Mr. Ricky Joe Benton, he has normally been at the high school, and now he's down with us at the Success Academy. And I even printed off and gave it to him, it's the bad part, so he's going to see it. But we've brought the AER that was normally at the middle and high school to the Success Academy this year. So instead of AER being housed at our middle and high school, it's now down here. Because of that, it's caused a lot of change and a lot of shift and a lot of different things that we've had to figure out how to make work down here. So we're still working on some kinks there, but it's going really well having those students down here. They are doing super great. It's actually, I feel like, helped our behaviors to not be at the school because the students don't want to leave the school and come down here, so that's been helpful. But that is Mr. Benton, and then on the left-hand side was Miss Paula Short. She is completely in charge by herself of our virtual and home health programs this year, and she has done fabulous with that. She has, I believe, right now around 58 just virtual students, and then she has K through 12. So that's going really well for her. She also does our home visits with our students, so she actually will go to the homes. We have some students that if they're injured, can't come to school, things of that nature, she goes there and helps them. So that's been what's going on at the Success Academy.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. I think next we have Ms. Hall. Is that right?
Yeah, and then we got Ms. Collins back there and Mr. Rogers.
I I didn't see you back there. Miss Hall, you on deck?
So we started school last week. We right now have 111 preschool students. We have 60 early start students. For preschool, we are recruiting all year long, so we screen kids every Friday, and anybody that wants to have their 3 or 4-year-old screened can come on a Friday and be screened, and I can talk about how they can qualify or not qualify to come to preschool. For our assessment data, our first due dates for assessments that you guys see is gonna be October 31st, so we won't have that to share with you until November. It takes us a long time to do assessments because they are student to teacher, one at a time. So at the top, you'll see some pictures of our beginning of school unit. That's what our first unit is. It's called Beginning of School. And we focus on expectations. We do a lot of social emotional learning lessons. We have many, many hours put into training our adults there in social emotional learning. So you'll see we did have a lot of support on the very first day, and they spent some time with breakfast. The kids, when they come, they don't know how to do anything because they haven't experienced it. So that's what we're working on, carrying trays, going to a public bathroom, sitting on the carpet, just things that later on we take for granted, but it's literally routines within routines within routines that we have to get set for the beginning of school. On the left, you'll see first day of school kid. There's our open house at the bottom. We had a nice turnout for that. We had a really smooth start to preschool, and surprisingly, we usually do. And I think that's because we get to do those home visits before school. And our home visits are not just visit the home, they are making plans for that child with the parent. So it's like, what goals do you have for your child? What would you like for us to work on? We also get to have a clear understanding of transportation for that child, because some of them, some don't have words that they can tell us their name, and some we can't understand. So it's important that we have conversations with the adults in their homes before they come. And then our favorite day so far was, I think that was yesterday. We had these football players, high school students come, and they were so pleasant with our kids. You can see the bottom right picture, that was the tallest kid in the school playing with the smallest kid. That's a tiny chair he's sitting in.
Looks like Chance.
That was really, they were really good for our kids. We had a little boy that had cried every day since he had came, and he sat across from one of those players, and he didn't cry again until that player left. It was really good for them. Really good for both ends, probably, the high school students and our students. That's all I have to share at this time.
Thank you so much. Do you want to hand it up to Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rogers is from the Estill County High School.
I can figure out how to turn this on. Okay. Thank you. I have learned that, one thing I picked up tonight is with all of these elementary schools, that I've got to bring better visuals to the high school. They have lots of good pictures and color, so we'll get better at that. I think one thing that's unique about the high school is so many of our kids that participate in out. All right, Jeremy. I can speak up. There we go. I think one of the things, excuse me, about the high school that's a little bit unique is that we have so many of our kids that are involved in extra and co-curricular activities. And while we had a late start, everybody else around us had already been rolling. So we kind of felt like we were jumping on a moving train a little bit, but I think we've kind of gotten up to speed. All of our athletic teams are in full force. Marching band has been having tremendous success, you know, finishing best overall band in each of their last 2 competitions. And a lot of students that are out in the communities representing our schools. And we've spent a lot of time talking this year already about what that means, and been really pleased with how our students have responded. We looked up and suddenly it was homecoming week, and my first time through all this, learning the traditions and the things that surround homecoming week. There's a buzz in the air and excitement about that already. You approved our tentative plans for our senior trip tonight. I know that's something that the kids are really looking forward to as well. So our clubs have been out and active. They had the opportunity to put on all of their dress uniforms and be present at the regional school board meeting. We've had students already out on overnight trips representing our community and clubs where they might serve as officers on a regional level. We have a lot of students that are out and about in our district doing different things, and you saw some of our high school football players that were involved in reading. We have a large number of our kids that, a lot of moving parts at the high school, kids that we share with the middle school and the ATC, and then kids that are leaving our school at midday to go out and be in our communities in terms of a co-op job or things of that nature. So a lot of moving parts, but our kids have really embraced, I think, the culture that we have tried to establish at the beginning of the year of a community, doing your best, being involved in things of that nature. We are about a week away from kicking off our first club activities. We have new clubs forming this year. Our JAG Club is one that I think will really be beneficial to our students. Excuse me, they're forming currently, and it's along the same lines as an FBLA and FCCLA type of organization. I think over and all, the PEP Club is one that our students are really excited about bringing back. If you've had the opportunity to be at any of our events this year, there is an increased student involvement in terms of our cheering sections at our games, and our students really leaning into supporting one another. So we are excited about all the fun stuff that we have been doing. A little hopeful that we make it through the fun festivities of homecoming week, and then can really start to focus again on what's going on in the classroom, and start to dive down through some of those initiatives that were started at the beginning of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I think Ms. Combs is in the very back. See if you want to pass it down.
I think she's got one.
Ms. Combs is with us from the Estill County ATC.
Okay, are you looking through them as we go? Okay, go ahead. So, a lot of buzz at the ATC. They've been very busy in their programs, doing their safety to get in the labs, and the labs this week have started buzzing. They're in there and they're excited. Our enrollment, just a snapshot of what is of right now, our health science program, 148, our computer science, 78, industrial maintenance, 97, engineering, 91, welding, 81, and diesel, 99. So I don't have our post-secondary ready stuff on here, but I've already migrated it over, and we look really, really good to start. It's amazing. So I'll share that with you as we move through the year. I can tell you I've got diesel done, and every single senior is post-secondary ready that is enrolled.
That's great.
So it's just amazing. So I'll share as we go throughout the year. So go ahead. Program updates. Since our instructors are very, very good, so they put this together for me. Each one of them told us what they wanted you to know tonight. So for health science, our senior class of 25 all graduated industry certification. 13 seniors were state registered nursing assistants. 6 seniors were phlebotomy techs, and 19 seniors NOCTI healthcare core certifications. For co-op this year, we've got some new partners. We do have the eye care center that we brought on board last year, the nursing home here in town, and then we have the pharmacy and Mercy Health Markham Wallace. We also have some phlebotomy partners too that are not up there, and I'm not going to say because I don't want to leave somebody out. For her HOSA for 24-25 State Leadership Conference, These are the winners that they had in the spring that progressed on to the international conference in Nashville over the summer. So those are all of the winners that you've probably seen us post and talk about. So HOSA did go to Nashville, Tennessee in July for the International Leadership Conference, and she took the parliamentary procedure team, and we had a healthy living. And Kylie Kiner actually made it through the second round of that competition. So we're really proud of all those kids. For HOSA last year, also for SCTSO, she had 100% participation with all of her students in that program. We are happy to introduce you to Mr. Zach Bennett. He is our new computer science instructor. He has over 15 years in IT experience. He's very excited to get started. I'm going to be excited to tell you some things he's doing, but he's focusing on his teaching technique because obviously he come from business and industry. He's participating in the New Teacher Institute, which he was at last week for 3 days. So he's excited to get started. Move along. He does have something new in his lessons. It's a daily clock-in with his bell ringers. It's pretty cool, and he's doing all this digital. So I'm excited to see how this works with our students, bringing the real-world experience to them. Okay, move along. So this is when we talked about what our vision was of what we wanted our computer science program to bring to the ATC. He has done a health science EMR sandbox and digitalized the work orders for diesel, welding, and industrial maintenance. So if you move to the next one, it shows what he's already got in place. So I was looking at free things that we could bring into the school, and he's putting these EMRs on our iPads that I purchased for health science so that the students can go through and be a real patient and put the information in. The work orders right now we have on paper tracking, but we're going to track all work orders just as if they go to a real shop, and they're going to be digital. And we're going to have a tracking system, as well as tracking our tools and all of our consumables. So his students, they're going to be doing help tickets, and the students are going to go to the different programs and work on this. So I look for this to be more like a work-based enterprise. And that's what I want to build this as. Okay. Industrial maintenance, we are continuing with NCCR. We've looked at different things for our post-secondary readiness, and we've decided to do NCCR, continue that, and he is our OSHA trainer, and he and Ms. Banks have had all students in engineering and industrial maintenance OSHA certified within the last 2 weeks. Okay. Our big partner with him is Toyota. We do have 2 students that are working at Toyota right now. Aiden Begley, as a matter of fact, came on opening night and visited with us. He's doing his program at BCTC and working at Toyota, and he came and shared that experience with us. So we're happy to have them on board. Okay. I've got Allison with me, but I'll talk about her program, then I want her to tell about something new that we're doing at the end. So her senior class of 25, all students were successfully graduated with Autodesk Fusion and OSHA 10, every single student she had, 100% pass rate for engineering design into program assessment. She had 7 co-op placements, and she worked so hard to get those placements. But they're awesome, and most of those kids are still there working. One student became a Pigman Scholar for UK, and that's our 2nd Pigman Scholar from her program. With her TSA, she had more than 50 active chapter members. 42 members competed at state competition in Louisville in March, and then 2 teams placed first in the state for drones and CAD engineering, and 6 went on to the national competition in Nashville, Tennessee in June as well. Her capstone class is called Transition to Engineering. So in our master scheduling, you'll see Engineering Capstone, or we call it T2E. So you get 4 dual credit sections offered through BCTC, and the T2E program offers articulated credit to use at UK, U of L, Western, and Murray, in conversation with EKU so that we can have more dual credit opportunities. We've added another class this year. It's AP Computer Science Principles in our engineering class, and that is also a hybrid class with our computer science for robotics and engineering design pathway. Our new thing that she's here with me tonight for to talk about is our Robot Gladiator League. So I don't know if you guys know about this, but the guys at our school know all about this. So I'm going to let her tell what this is all about.
Well, last January, I was invited to come see Robot Gladiator League in Jackson, and by some people from Newton's Attic. And this is actually put on, it was started by Newton's Attic, the guy who is the owner of Newton's Attic. And they partner with the STEM Excellence at Center for Excellence at Moorhead, and they have come up with Robot Gladiator League. And this is a way to try to get students to come and compete with, post-secondary ready skill sets and 21st century learning, but they're using it to do things that they enjoy doing. The Robot Gladiator League, they have what they call melees. They are events, and they have taken things from NASCAR and football and all these other sports and put it in an arena, and it's like robots on steroids. If you guys have ever seen the Robot Wars, on TV, this is kind of what this is. So we actually this will be our first year. They have 22 teams this year. They had, I think it was 16 teams last year. They're now adding 2 high school teams, us and the Hill in Lexington, the new academy in Lexington that's at ATC. And they are adding 4 community colleges. So BCTC, Somerset, I think Big Sandy, and Ashland are also participating in this. And they've created 2 different divisions. There's the Combat League and the Competition League. And the Competition League is what they've done in the past. The Combat League is like the Robot Wars. And of course, all the people at our school, all the guys are like, we want to do the Combat League. So that's like, they brought us 3 robots, and we have to build them, and you can put like all kinds. They said, don't put a flamethrower. And they said the only reason you can't put a flamethrower is because people don't like that in their gym. And I was like, okay, well, we won't do that then. So anyway, we are actually partnering with 5 programs at our ATC. It's going to be industrial maintenance, welding, engineering, computer science, and the diesel program. We're going to take 25 students, 5 from each program, and we're going to try to take seniors and juniors, and so they get to participate first this year. They even component that's like a part of the rubric. So there's a scoring guide to get to your final seed at the end of the season, and they want us to create videos. So that's actually part of it, is a video component that we track the progress all year, so other people can see this. And we hopefully have ability to host a competition here, which would generate funding for our program, which would be awesome. So hopefully this year you guys will be able to see us compete at the Robot Gladiator League. And the funny part is all of the male teachers in our school are super excited about this. They talk about what they're going to do, and I'm like, well, the kids are supposed to do this. And the boys that come in, and they're like looking at these robots. And I don't know, our biggest problem is going to be how we're going to only put 25 on this team at this point. So, but anyway, and Mr. Brock actually was privy to this because he had talked to Newton's Attic earlier and had earlier in the year and had agreed to let us do this. And so we are now on board and ready to roll with this. So hopefully, Mr. Brock, you'll get to see them competing very soon.
Yeah, I'll be there. We may have to add a second team.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, we could fill it very easily.
I'm
Yeah.
just curious what your team's going to be named.
The Estill ATC Warbots. We voted. Yes. That was the first thing we came up with. But like, they are, the men and the boys are all super excited. And the girls are like, I want to take the video and the pictures. I'm like, that's great. So, yeah. So it'll be interesting. We hope to come back in a couple months with some video so you guys can see what they're doing. So, and it is a big, like, you talking about competition. You get excited over robots. It's pretty crazy. So, but that is our newest adventure. So you guys have to wish us luck on that one.
Thank you, Ms. Banks.
I think that's.
Ms.
We're ready
Combs, you
for
have
the next
anything
one.
else? There we go.
Oh,
We're still going. So we've got two more, welding and diesel. For welding, what I can tell you about welding for this year that's new is every single class that Mr. Jones teaches is dual credit except for one. So, so that's awesome. Those kids have they've got a lot of opportunity there. And they're in the lab and they're working and they're so excited. Okay, last one.
Are they gonna do trailers?
I hope so.
Yeah.
So we've waited to share this information. This took Mr. Cottle and I the better part of last year to get all the documentation together. The advisory councils that we have, the meetings twice a year, all led this year to our diesel training program at Estill County ATC received the ASE training program certification. So we are as certified as we can be in there now. Mr. Cottle had to have all of his own ASE accredited. He had to take all of his tests himself. He finished all of his tests, and now we're accredited. Next. We have a huge project in there that we're really proud of right now. Last week, Link Belt brought us a 1957 LS-98 crane motor to be rebuilt. They're going to put it, once it's rebuilt and took back to Link Belt, they're going to have it on display. This is one of the very first cranes they ever had. The boys that are involved, as you see, Mr. Cottle took a picture, and we have an area in the lab marked off, and they put the motor there, and they've got their work tables set up, and they've got their tools. They're starting to get their tools out, and they made all the phone calls themselves. They called Cummins themselves, and they have found us a manual from 1957, and they're bringing us the manual for this antique motor that they're going to redo. So they've really, these seniors, there's seniors and returner students are just, they took ownership in this, and I cannot wait to see where this goes. They've been working with our partners at Link Belt. They've been working with people with the tools that we need to get there. So this is going to be something to watch throughout the year. I think this is our last slide, but this goes along with our ASC. On the days that we had to go through the accreditation, which were a couple long days, we had Kyle and Neil from our bus garage that helped with our ASC accreditation that we're so thankful for, that the school is part of what's happening over there. So they came, they spent the days with us, and they came back and we give them a certification this week, and they brought us a bus. So now we have a bus, and the kids are out there with an old bus working on it too. So we really appreciate you all.
Thank you, Ms. Combs. Mr. Rock, if you can't get excited about all of these things going on, there's something wrong with you, right?
I told people over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I told the board it was one of my goals when I got here, but we have got so many opportunities for kids now, we just need more kids. We don't have enough kids to fill all the opportunities we have, and that's a good problem to have. So.
I'm so proud of everyone and all the great work that's going on. Thank you all, principals, for those reports. Next, we have our board member forum. Do we have anything to share with the public? Anyone?
We had a wonderful regional meeting.
We hosted KSBA regional meeting a couple of Mondays ago, and there was a big turnout and great success, and we had student involvement, and It was a good experience had by all. We like showcasing our district, and so we try to put on and show out and show up and all those things.
And the electric did not go out.
And the
And
electricity didn't go out.
I've had 10 people come up to me just on a kind of a cold call since then and tell me how wonderful it was and how great our kids were and what a good thing it was, so.
So thanks to everyone that was able to help participate in that. Mr. Simpson, do we have any public comments online?
We did have a couple. They don't really pertain, but they pertain enough that I decided I will address them because it was talking about budgets, and we do have the budget on this agenda. So it was talking about transportation. Both of them was about transportation in the bus garage and how much money we got and some questions there. I'll be more than happy to get with those people and get them a detail of the budget. But the reality is, even though we do get quite a bit of money for transportation, transportation is not currently 100% funded in the state of Kentucky. So even with the money that we get, we have to kick in money from the general fund to fund transportation fully. So that's part of the reason for some of the questions that are in those public comments about salaries and about some other things. So while on paper it may look like a lot, we actually don't even get enough with the add-ons for transportation to fund our transportation department. Be happy to get those numbers and break them down for you and send them to you, or you can come in and meet with me and I will walk you through every one of them. So moral of the story, contact your representative and your senator and tell them we need transportation fully funded this year.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Anything further? If not, I'd like to call for an adjournment.
No public comment.
I
I'm
just,
sorry.
I didn't hear nobody say it.
she asked about public
I-
comments. Yeah.
Do you,
5 minutes. Can everybody hear me?
Does it
I
pertain to the
asked, I'm
agenda?
sorry. I said, do we have anything further?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The only thing I had is the word out on the street. The only reason I'm here tonight, the only reason. We're out of money. We're running short. We're running short. We need more money. We need to figure out how to cut everything we can cut. Is that true?
We're on a tight budget this year.
Are we in the red or are we in the black?
We have a balanced budget this year.
That's what I took from a while ago.
Yeah.
That's good news, really good news. But the biggest reason I'm here, every time I hear somebody talk about the budget, we go back 3 or 4 years ago, and I'll just be honest with you, I was dead against that nickel tax, and I'm still against it, because it affects everybody in this room. I'm not gonna talk about what's going on at the schools, I'm gonna talk about going in every household in Estill County. It affects every one of us.
Yeah. The tax is not on this.
I know,
Yeah.
and I understand that, but I'm trying to get ahead of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? We just need to figure out how we can get with our local officials, maybe our new local officials, and our judge executive down here to get more jobs brought in this county. We won't never have to worry about another nickel tax. I know what's going on. It's gonna affect me as a household, and it really affects me with the tax money that y'all asked me when we put another nickel tax.
Yeah. But
On as-
we're
on
not
as
even
a
talking.
business. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just
I know,
trying
but
to-
we're not even talking about that
Yeah,
tonight.
I know, I'm just trying, but budget is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It'll come up again in the budget one of these days. And
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear we got a balanced budget this year.
Well, as far as the budget goes, and you talking about bringing into the community, I was on the phone with Joe Crawford today because we're trying to get the coal wash and there's some opportunities there for business to come in, so.
May the force be with you.
We are involved in it, yes, because we want more as well.
I know. But we can't bring businesses in this county because we don't have nobody that wants something to come in here. And that's the reason I look at the school board and say, hey, we might need to push or we might need to do some changes in this county to help more people come in here.
Well, that's why we're providing opportunities for kids, and that's why I'm
Oh, I-
working
I
with
know,
them.
believe me.
Because if we're gonna bring businesses in, they need to understand that we will partner with them as an education entity to help train kids and provide them for,
I believe that wholeheartedly from every one of y'all up there, but I just taking a few minutes when I seen budget on here. easiest way to supplement that is through a general take of what you can raise on the school board. Is that even thought about?
For,
Has that been thought about, to raising the minimum amount of taxes? You could take the minimum this fall.
we've already did it.
You already did that, so you did take the minimum.
We didn't raise taxes at all. We left them where they were at.
So they're stayed the same. Last year you cut them.
Yeah.
Which was very good, but we left them the same. We didn't take the minimum.
So there's a compensating rate and there's a 4%.
Compensate what I.
We did not take compensating. The 4% was taken, but it did not raise taxes.
Okay. Because mainly we deducted it last year. We didn't raise.
No, last year also, the 4% was there, but it didn't raise taxes, actually cut taxes.
Correct.
And we can talk about like what 4% actually means. It's not a 4% tax. It's 4% more than what you generated by taxes the previous year.
The main reason I'm here, I'm kind of like a fish out of water. It's kind of work, don't look real good. But my concern was, I don't want no more taxes.
Yeah, we didn't raise
I'm not
taxes.
just talking to you.
But
I'm
taxes
talking
was on the
right to
last
left.
agenda.
Huh?
Taxes was on the last agenda. We'll talk about budget, which I'm happy
I
to talk
didn't
to you
get
about.
nothing on the last agenda. That's the reason I was talking to Jeremy earlier about when it
It's-
was.
Well, okay, yeah.
It's okay, but I can stop if nobody wants me to talk about it for a second.
You can talk about anything that's on here. We just can't entertain anything that's not on there by our
Okay,
policy.
can't talk about taxes, but I would like to know if we're gonna try that again. Nickel taxes again.
That would be a decision, or that would be a discussion for next fall when that's on the agenda.
That'll be good.
Yeah, but it's not on the agenda. We can't discuss it tonight.
Back to something that Mr. Ghost said earlier, that nobody really commented on. There was a comment on the board about, we just started this program so we can watch every individual. How long have we been running blind? and not
We
knowing?
haven't been running blind. This just makes the process easier.
Excuse my way I stated it, but that's just me. It all didn't sound right to me for a little bit. Because it all working out good, now everybody's reporting, and we wasn't. It acted like we wasn't reporting.
We've reported the budget every year.
It makes it more efficient. It makes it more efficient.
There you go.
It makes it more efficient,
There
yes.
wasn't much clarity in what I was trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, it's an efficiency thing.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot better. Because I'm not the only one. I'm sure there's plenty of people listening that probably saying, what are they talking about?
Yeah, it's an efficiency thing.
I'm just gonna be the one, I was brought up as a stupid question is one not asked. Take that for what
Yeah.
it is.
And you've
I'm gonna.
probably already over your time. Yeah.
And I can, I got one other question.
Be more than happy to meet one-on-one with you. We just have those limits and we gotta follow our
When I seen
procedures.
the budget, it's something I felt like needed to be talked about the local tax or
But-
taking.
Again, taxes aren't on here. We can't.
I understand.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about the budget, but we're already out of procedures. I'll meet with you one-on-one. You can come back and we can talk about it next time budget's on there. Not trying to hide anything, just trying to follow our procedures.
Wait, let's clear that up. Nobody said I was trying to accuse y'all of hiding anything.
No. I just wanna make
I'm
that
about as
statement
straightforward as you
myself.
come, and I'm about as straightforward as helping this community the best I can.
I didn't say you
I
accused
know.
us of that.
I didn't, I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, no, did not say that at all.
Everybody did say, I just clarified.
No, but people are listening and they may be thinking, well, why is Mr. Brock trying, because I'm trying to follow procedure and policy.
I understand,
Yeah.
Herr Lodge. I understand.
Yeah, thank you. And I'd be more than happy to meet with anybody in the community that wants to come in and ask questions, so. Yeah.
Do we have anything further?
All right.
I'd like to call for an adjournment. I need a motion and a second. Sheila Samples and Tammy Hardy. All in favor? This meeting is officially adjourned.